Now, a Target 12 consumer investigation, keyless dangers.
As push-button starters become increasingly common, some U.S. lawmakers are pushing for new safety standards for cars with keyless ignitions. Federal regulators acknowledged the potentially deadly dangers nearly a decade ago, but so far nothing's been done. At least 34 people have died of carbon monoxide poisoning after accidentally leaving their keyless cars running, including the elderly father of a New England woman. Target 12 consumer investigator Susan Campbell joins us now with details on that tragedy and the push to prevent it from happening again.
Jerry Zitzer was 86 years old when he died. His daughter tells me he was active and healthy, and she says his death was 100% preventable. Jerry Zitzer loved his family, and he loved the Yankees.
My dad and I had a routine with the Yankees. We call before the game started or wait to the first inning.
So his daughter Susie knew something was wrong when he didn't answer the phone a couple innings into a night game back in 2012. When first responders found him, it was too late.
My father was sitting in his recliner and the Yankee game was on and he was dead.
Jerry had accidentally left his keyless car running for hours in an attached garage in his Florida home. An autopsy showed he died of carbon monoxide poisoning.
As he was sitting there, poison was seeping in.
We're aware of at least 34 fatalities that have occurred that way.
Auto safety expert Sean Kane has studied the issue. He says it's easy to understand how drivers accidentally leave their vehicles running.
The manufacturer tells you the fob is the key. It is not the key. It doesn't play any role in shutting the car down. But when they tell you it's the key, if you exit the vehicle, I've got my key. Well, why wouldn't the car be shutting off?
Years ago, the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration acknowledged safety concerns caused by keyless ignition systems. But efforts to mandate safety standards stalled.
One slip can mean death.
Keyless cars do have safety features. When you walk away with a fob, many will let you know the car's still running. But federal lawmakers are considering a bill that would require NHTSA to mandate automatic engine shutoffs in keyless cars.
It's going to take an act of Congress to force this federal agency to do its job.
Kane says the technology already exists in some vehicles. For example, new keyless Fords shut off within 30 minutes of idling.
It's a simple fix, and no one has to die anymore.
In a statement to Target 12, the Alliance of Automobile Manufacturers said current keyless ignition systems already follow the recommended practices of the Society of Automotive Engineers, addressing operating logic, indication of vehicle ignition control status, and the physical control characteristics of keyless ignition systems. NHTSA has not responded to our request for comment. With the Target 12 investigator Susan Campbell, Eyewitness News.
Thank you, Susan. And this Target 12 consumer investigation continues on Eyewitness News at 6.
New at 6, why lawmakers say carbon monoxide is not the only danger consumers face with keyless cars. Turning now to a Target 12 consumer investigation, keyless dangers.
It's an issue we've been tracking for years. Serious safety concerns linked to those push-button starters.
Live at 5, we introduced you to a Connecticut woman whose father died of carbon monoxide poisoning after accidentally leaving his vehicle running in the garage. But we've learned carbon monoxide is not the only safety risk posed by keyless ignitions.
Target 12 consumer investigator Susan Campbell is here now with important information that's new at 6.
In 2011, the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration acknowledged the risks, carbon monoxide poisoning and rollaway incidents. There was even a proposal for new safety standards, but 8 years later, the rules still haven't changed.
I hope that
in the 7 years since her dad died, Susie Zitzer has been fighting for new safety standards on keyless cars.
I just don't think people are really hearing enough about this.
Jerry Zitzer pulled into his garage with a tank full of gas and accidentally left his keyless car running. He died after carbon monoxide seeped into his Florida home for hours. His daughter says his key fob was in his shirt pocket.
People think that when you're a certain distance from the car and you have that key, the engine's going to shut off, and that's not the case at all.
If they unintentionally leave it running.
Auto safety expert Sean Kane says at least 34 people have died this way. But he says carbon monoxide isn't the only risk. He says keyless cars are also prone to rollaway incidents because some can be turned off without being put into park.
One slip, one mistake, and you can end up in a situation where as you're stepping out of the car, it's going to roll away.
U.S. Senator Richard Blumenthal says his bill, the Park It Act, would address both risks. If the proposal becomes law, federal regulators would have to mandate automatic shutoffs and locking features that would engage if someone tried to get out of a keyless car that wasn't in park.
This is basically taking what some manufacturers decided to do, and it would require them, all manufacturers, to do.
Susie says it would help protect other families from the pain she's experienced.
There isn't a day that goes by where, I think of something I want to ask them, and I can't.
In a statement to Target 12, the Alliance of Automobile Manufacturers said current keyless ignition systems already follow the recommended practices of the Society of Automotive Engineers, addressing operating logic, indication of vehicle ignition control status, and the physical control characteristics of keyless ignition systems. NHTSA has not responded to our request for comment. With the Target 12 investigator Susan Campbell, Eyewitness News.